Well, hello again, real worlders. This is Brian, my channel, Real World Problems. And today I wanted to give you an update on Russell Brand and kind of following up on my last video I just made. So my last video, I was kind of talking about how, these platforms like YouTube and Rumble and stuff like that, they basically, you know, censor people's speech and demonetize them and all this other stuff. So when that happens, they're basically limiting our freedom of speech, right? But there's still a lot of skeptics out there that believe that these guys are private companies and they can do whatever they want. And and so if you don't like it, you just go somewhere else, right? Well, that's all hunky dory unless the government is involved, right? Because if the government is involved, that means that they're violating your First Amendment rights of freedom of speech, right? And they're no longer the private company censoring you, it's the government censoring you. So in my last video, I was kind of hinting towards like, okay, well, um, if this is true, that is a violation. Well, sure enough, a letter just came out. Rumble just retweeted it on their site here. Let's check it out. Okay, so here I am on Rumble's page here, Twitter page, and we're going to check out this letter they got from not the U.S. government, but a foreign government, right? That means a foreign actor ends up being the British, right? So they sent, because they're apparently, that's where Russell Brand's from, is from Great Britain. So so they are all out want to censor Russell Brand because he's not following the man's point of view. So they want to go after him and allegedly, so. And also, of course, they had the abuse claims. And so they're like, oh my gosh, he's a terrible person now. Even though, no one's convicted of him of anything. It's all claims, all hearsay. But yet, even the government is getting involved in trying to censor him and trying to demonetize him so he doesn't make any money. If he doesn't make any money, that means he can't afford lawyers. He can't afford all these things to defend himself in court. And a lot anymore, court is not just the courthouse, right? It's the court of public opinion, right? So if they can demonize you in the court of public opinion, that, that will destroy you right there. You know what I mean? Because that not only messes up the jury pool, because, if he does go to court and these people already have an opinion about him because of what they've seen in the media and all these other things, then that will play out in court. And so it's not good. So, me, I am not okay with a foreign government telling an American business to censor people or demonetize them. They have no right telling us to do anything. You know what I mean? So here's the letter. Here it is. Culture. Let's blow it up here. Okay, so it's Culture, Media, and Sports Committee. Whatever that means. Okay, so Chris Pavlovsky. Okay, so that's the CEO of Rumble. By email. Dear Chris, I'm writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand. In the context of his being a content provider on Rumble with more than 1.4 million followers, the Culture, Media, and Sport Committee is raising questions about the broadcaster and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also learning at his use of social media, including Rumble, where he issued his preemptive response to an accusation made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 dispatches. While we recognize that Rumble is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. Okay, so why is a government concerned how this guy makes his money? You know what I mean? This has nothing to do with any allegations that is against him, you know? So if he did something bad in the past, that's in the past. And yeah, he should be, if he's guilty of it, he should be tried in court and, pay fines or go to jail or whatever what else. But he's still allowed to make a living. You know what I mean? That is not cool with me. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, I have friends and, family or whatever, that have had problems in the past, right? And they might have done a stint in jail or spend a night in there. Does that mean they're demonized for the rest of their life and they can never make money again? No, that would be uncool. Talk about a homeless problem. There'd be millions of people homeless on the streets if everybody that went to jail was never allowed to make money again. You know what I mean? That is not okay. So okay. So, and then let's finish this letter. So, we would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that the creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yours sincerely, this Dame Caroline Denage, whatever. So, yeah. So, what I'm assuming is that YouTube and BBC and all these other companies, they got this letter too, but they're just not, providing it to the public. Rumble is, like I said, they are trying to fight for free speech and as much as possible. They do censor a little bit, there's, horrible stuff online that shouldn't be on there, which I agree with, but, that stuff should be maybe censored a little bit. But as far as like just innocent stuff, no, this stuff should be, out there. And why can't Russell Brand defend himself? They're saying that he can't defend himself. Why are they so concerned about him defending himself? Are they afraid of him talking? That's terrible. Yeah. So, if he's, they're saying, oh, well, it might, offend the victims. Well, these victims haven't even done anything yet. I mean, they came forward, but they're just smearing his name. They're not actually suing him or anything yet. So yeah, so that's I don't know. That's kind of a slippery slope there. So here is Rubble's response. Let's see here. So here is okay. So it says today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores allegations and believes that both alleged victims and accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation, it is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on the Rumble platform, which is true. Okay, just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on the media accusations, it was barring Russell Brand from monetization in his video content. Rumble stands very different values. Okay, we have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard, which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on or platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual or demanding his ban is even more disturbing. Given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble, we don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. And then this part kind of got cut off in the bottom here. So, although it may be politically or socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We emphatically reject the UK's Parliament demands. That is awesome. man, we should all go out and buy some Rumble stock right now. Okay, so this is their ticker symbol right here. It's looks like it's $ rum on Nasdaq, and yeah. So I mean, I would recommend supporting these guys because that is awesome that they are doing that. Man, that really proves to me that they are here for us and the Constitution and what is right. Okay, because and like I said, I'm pretty positive that, YouTube and all these other companies, they're the ones getting these letters too. And that's why they do these things. Because you know what? Even though they're a big company, they're afraid. And that's exactly why. Because they're a big company, right? Because all these, UK and the US government, all they do is like, hey, if you don't listen to us, when we send you these letters, you're a big company. We can break you up at any time. We can call you a monopoly at any time. Because Google basically, kind of runs the internet. YouTube is the largest platform out there, and they kind of got a monopoly on some of this stuff. I mean, even though Rumble is starting to compete a little bit, so you know, if you don't do what they want, all these politicians and government will just go, oh, you're a monopoly, we're going to break you up, and your company is going to be no longer, because they'll make your life a living hell, right? So that's why these companies do what they do, is because they're afraid, right? And that's why these governments are trying to censor these big names, right? Because if you censor people like Russell Brand, I'm not even a big fan of Russell Brand. I mean, let's get that out there. I mean, I think he's kind of off a little bit, but I really don't. I mean, I've watched maybe a few of his videos, but he's just not for me. And but I am out there for the freedom of speech, and I think people should be allowed to make a living. And because and I think it's funny. I was watching this video the other day where they were talking about, oh, Rumble is a far right platform, for conservatives. No, they're not. They're for everybody. When is freedom of speech a far right idea, right? That is literally in our Constitution, right? And so these, you know, powers that may be, the people that dangle the strings, they're trying to take away those rights, and the sooner we wake up to it, the better we'll be off. You know what I mean? Because right now our freedoms are getting stripped faster than I've ever seen. Yeah, so this letter is terrible. And and I don't blame these other, well, I don't know. I guess you can say I do blame these other companies for bow downing to these government agencies, because really they're scared. I mean, they are scared. Because they know that they can ban them at any time. They can censor them and say, oh, we're not going to allow YouTube in Great Britain anymore because you have Russell Brand on there, and they can do that because they're the government, and they don't have a constitution like we do. So it's same with Canada. Canada has very limited freedom of speech over there. If you look at the trucker convoy and that was terrible. And so it's definitely something to think about. I would, I just hope America wakes up to what's going on in the real world and behind the scenes, because a it's a battle going on for our minds. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of smart people out there that are trying to control how we think, what we see, and that way they can control us. You know what I mean? And it's always been that way. You know what I mean? They just are a little more blatant about it, and now it's getting brought to light. And so it's definitely something to think about. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Peace out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.